in the league right now. 5,500 receiving yards, 425 catches, the fastest tight end to reach those marks, those career marks in NFL history. That is insane.
Tight ends block too. How many pancakes does he have?
I know. Why isn't that up there on that graphic, huh? For more on the Lions-Chiefs concern tomorrow, we send it out to James Palmer in Detroit.
All week long, Matt Patricia and the Lions have been finding ways to simulate the skill set of Patrick Mahomes. He can do everything in the eyes of their head coach. So during scout team, do they use a different guy? Yes, a different player to simulate how he runs the football, a different player to simulate how he scrambles around, and perhaps a different player to show how he uses the vertical game and gets downfield, trying to get things as close as they can to how Patrick Mahomes does it by using a couple of different players. But when I talk to guys in the Lions secondary, they do believe that they have a talented group of offensive weapons that maybe prepared them. They have three good wide receivers, a talented top pick at tight end, and they believe that group going against them in training camp where the ball gets spread all around maybe has prepared them. They said maybe there's times where we shut down one guy here and maybe shut down another guy in this instance, being able to move things around. Maybe that can come in handy on Sunday.
We'll see. The Chiefs' offense is putting up points like we've never seen. They've scored 25 or more in 24 straight games, an NFL record. We'll see if that streak continues tomorrow. Now let's send it over to Mike Robb and D-Hall.
Yes, Colleen. The NFL's Way to Play initiative is back for its second season. And this year, we're extending it to the high school level. Every week, we'll honor a player for demonstrating exceptional technique on the field. This week's recipient of the 2019 Way to Play High School Award is Denzel Holder from Huffman High School in Birmingham, Alabama. Let's take a look at this play, D-Hall. First of all, this is a man of a kid.
Oh, yes, he
Look
is.
at how he just mauled the defensive lineman to the ground. Now, what I like about it is his hands are inside and he's moving his feet. As long as his feet are moving, you'll never get called for a hold.
And as long as your hands are inside, you'll never be called for a hold. That's great technique. And he's working, man. You know, I help coach my son's little league team, and that's what we're trying to do. Oh, lineman, block. I know y'all want to be running backs, but look, let's block. And this kid right here, he's doing what he needs for his team to win, and that's getting ahead right on his blocker, on the defender, and just driving him down into the ground. Great pancake block.
He does.
We need to recruit him to Virginia Tech. We ain't doing too well right now.
Yeah, brother, because of your terrific technique, Huffman High School will receive a $1,500 equipment grant. Colleen, back to you.
That is awesome. I love it. Well, listen, guys, it didn't take long for Daniel Jones to become the toast of the town in New York, and here's why. He won his first game as a starter and did it with a fourth-quarter comeback. He also threw for over 300 yards. On the flip side, Eli Manning didn't accomplish those milestones until his 7th and 10th starts. I feel like that's not really fair to call him out like that, but that's what we're doing here.
It's not. And playing quarterback in this league is a lot different than it used to be. Mike Drop,
oh my gosh, it's time for your segment.
These guys come in so ready to play. It's a much different story. With Daniel Jones, I want to talk about him first because everybody talks about how tough it is to play in the New York market because they think of like the negativity. They think of the spotlight. But it's a double-edged sword. When you do well, sometimes it gets to your head because there's so much praise and they can't wait to anoint you. Well, I can tell you the Giants are not worried about that at all with Daniel Jones. One of the things that I've heard from folks inside that building this week is he handled all the criticism well. He handled those videos of people laughing at him when we drafted him number 6 overall. He handled that part so well. So they have no concerns about the fact that he is going to handle this part extremely well. The part where everybody's going to tell you how great you are in such a hurry, Mike Ruff.
Well, Jeezy, he didn't win much at Duke, right? He's in a situation where he's at now with the New York Giants. How does he handle expectations? It doesn't seem like this kid has had
a lot
expectations in recent parts of his career.
One of the big reasons for why they liked him and they drafted him was they felt like he had the demeanor to handle the New York market. Moving on. So last week I talked here about the Detroit Lions and the way that the coaching staff has done a better job of communicating. Jamal Agnew gets benched after he muffs a punt, has a fumble, okay? But then to start week 3, I talked to his agent this week. He said, I wish you talked to me ahead of the game because you could have called his shot the way that he called his shot. He says, I'm going to take one to the house.
Real.
First time he touches the ball, 100 yards, takes it to the house. So it's a credit to Agnew right here for having that confidence and calling his shot. But it's also a credit to Matt Patricia because it's not New England West right now in Detroit. Because what would happen if you fumbled a couple of times in New England? You'd get on the bench probably, and you wouldn't get off that bench for quite some time. You fumble in September, we'll see you in November. Matt Patricia showing confidence in his guys, D-Hall.
You know what's interesting? I used to call every shot. It's just sometimes I didn't make the shot. So that's just a disclaimer. I'm going to call it, look, I'm getting a pick 6 this game.
There you go.
Oh, man, I just didn't have it.
Maybe that's the case with Agnew, but in this case.
But I love it. I love it.
As far as I know, he's 1 for 1. And last one, Clay Matthews got 4 sacks in the year. That might quickly become 5, by the way. He had a tackle for loss that was on a read option type look. May have been an RPO, so he's actually appealing. He wants the 5th sack. Anyway, last year only had 3.5 sacks. Already has eclipsed that number because now the Rams have got him back in his more natural position. But I want to go back to free agency because he had the Baltimore Ravens and he had the Jacksonville Jaguars amongst the teams interested in him. Probably would have got a lot more guaranteed money. The Rams said, if you want to come home, you want to play for us, you need to take a deal that's going to be low base, high incentive. And he did just that. He's only making 3.5 base this year. But if he gets to 8.5 sacks, which he's already almost halfway there, that's another $1 million. If they get to the playoffs, that's another $500,000. And then for every game they win in the playoffs, another $500,000. So this was the case of a team needing a player to work with them. He was willing to do it because he wanted to play in L.A. So much. And right now it is paying dividends. They got him back in his natural position, rushing the quarterback versus that hybrid that the Packers had him playing.
Yeah, don't have him going backwards. Don't have him dropping back, and you're standing right next to the offensive player.
That man.
You're going to be one-on-one all the time.
All the
time. Of course,
time.
take the deal.
It's amazing what can happen when you put a player in their natural position. Wow.
Who'd have thought? Yeah.
Exactly right.
Last call for the Mark Ingram hype train. It's leaving the station, so should you be on it? Adam Rank helping you punch your ticket to a winning fantasy season. That's coming up. And Kirk and Mitch, Vikings and the Bears.
Don't call it a big game. If you call it a big game, you won't get a good.
In 2019, it's not about Patrick Mahomes or Lamar Jackson or Odell Beckham. It's about who's coaching Odell Beckham.
You know, everybody has the right to their own opinion.
It matters less that the Colts don't have Andrew Luck than that they do have Frank Reich. Why? Because it's now a coach's league.
Hell yeah! Give me some of that!
Shanahan, McDermott, LaFleur, those names may not excite you, but facts are facts.
If you want to crown them, then crown their.
Let me explain via the Tom Hardy theorem.
Can somebody come over and tell us what the going on?
You know who Tom Hardy is, yes?
These guys don't know.
He played Venom and he played Bane in The Dark Knight Rises. He's great in both, but only one of those two movies is good. And the quality for both of those movies ultimately lies in the hands of the director, right? Right. Same goes for Jared Goff. His rookie season, under director Jeff Fisher, he was a bust.
Oh, come on.
Now, under director Sean McVay, he may wind up getting a bust. You get it?
That was nice.
But you don't necessarily have to be young and or handsome and or somehow related to Sean McVay. You do, though, need to be flexible. It's not about forcing your roster to adjust to your style. If you're an old dog, you're the one who needs new tricks. Bill Belichick wins because he's a chameleon.
Good sudden change. That's it.
Andy Reid made the bold move to trade up for Mahomes, and then he hit the gas. You see, he adjusted to his player's skill set.
You got to keep the pedal down.
Pat Shurmur sat Eli and started the F word. Future. Not the, sheesh, you must have been hanging around with Danny Dimes in the huddle too much.
I can't control that.
And John Harbaugh's trucking through modern-day football with a Barry Switzer-style offense.
We're going to keep playing that way, just for the record.
Down in Big D, Jason Garrett turned the O over to 30-year-old Kellen Moore, who's now cast Dak as an MVP candidate. Now, some platitudinous coaches out there are still trying to win with little more than tough talk.
Pose the will on this crew. Pose the will on them.
If you know who I'm talking about, knock on wood.
Who knows? Maybe Hard Knocks will come and cover that. That'd be awesome, wouldn't it?
And whether it's Ben Roethlisberger, Mason Rudolph, or Bubby Brister, this was supposed to be the year the Steelers' defense picked up the slack. That D has 10 first-round draft picks on it, and yet the D ranks near the bottom. Now, who's that on?
the quality of performance wasn't always what we wanted or what he wanted.
I get it. In a sport that depends upon testosterone and machismo, tough talk about coming out and punching someone in the mouth sounds good, but it only works in the movies in the 20th century.
I'm starting to think you're stupid.
Look at Don Shula. He won 2 Lombardis via run, and run some more till Marino arrived. Then he literally never ran the ball again. That's flexibility. Sure, Marino never won a ring, but you know how many games he won? So forget tanking for Tua. Start stinking for Lincoln. Riley, that is. He's looking for a Heisman hat trick with 3 very different QBs. That's the flexibility I'm talking about.